Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're uncovering the shocking truth behind New Year's Eve, the biggest global celebration on earth. You think January 1st has always been New Year? Think again. I'm about to reveal 5 incredible origin stories that will completely change how you see this holiday. From ancient Babylon to Roman gods, from religious conflicts to astronomical cycles, the real history of New Year is 4,000 years old and far more complex than counting down to midnight. Let's dive into the ancient origins of New Year's Eve. Let's start with the very first New Year celebration ever recorded, and it's absolutely fascinating. The earliest known major New Year celebrations date back approximately 4,000 years to the city of Babylon in Mesopotamia. But here's the shocking part. They didn't celebrate in January, they celebrated in spring. The Babylonians celebrated Akitu during the first new moon after the spring equinox, a crucial moment in the agricultural cycle. For 11 days, the entire city lived to the rhythm of elaborate rituals, processions, and ceremonies designed to symbolically renew the king's power and confirm the victory of gods of order over the forces of chaos. This wasn't just a date change, this was a cosmic reset. They sought to ensure the fertility of fields and the stability of the kingdom. Imagine 11 days of non-stop celebrations, religious ceremonies, processions through the streets, and massive rituals in temples. The king would even undergo a ritual humiliation, where he'd be stripped of his symbols and slapped by priests before being reinstated, symbolizing the renewal of his divine mandate. By linking the passage to the new year with nature, barley harvests, floods, and seasons, these civilizations established a lasting model, that of a new year associated with rebirth and new beginnings, rather than an abstract calendar number. This is crucial. New Year wasn't about counting years, it was about the earth coming back to life. The Babylonian model influenced countless cultures around them. The idea that New Year should mark agricultural renewal, that it should involve purification rituals, that it should reset society, all these concepts originated in ancient Mesopotamia. When you make New Year's resolutions today, you're participating in a tradition that's literally 4,000 years old, the first New Year, where chaos met order. Now let's jump forward to ancient Rome for the origin of January 1st. The shift to January 1st as the official start of the year in the Western world comes largely from Julius Caesar, his calendar reform in 46 BC. By instituting the Julian calendar, Caesar set the beginning of the year on January 1st in honor of Janus. Who was Janus? He was the Roman god of beginnings, endings, and transitions, represented with 2 faces looking toward the past and toward the future. This symbolism is perfect for New Year. One face looking back at what was, one face looking forward to what will be. The Romans understood the psychology of transitions brilliantly. Romans marked this day with sacrifices to Janus, banquets, decorations of their homes, and an exchange of small good luck gifts like coins or branches from sacred trees. This religious and symbolic anchoring around Janus contributed to giving New Year a coloring of reflection and promise, looking behind you while opening a door toward a new period. But here's what most people don't know. January 1st wasn't always New Year, even for Romans. Originally, the Roman calendar started in March, which is why September, October, November, and December literally means 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th month. Their names don't match their positions because the calendar shifted. Caesar's reform was partly practical. January 1st coincided with the beginning of the consular year, when new consuls took office. By aligning the calendar year with political transitions, Caesar made administration easier, but the religious connection to Janus gave it staying power. The Roman celebration of January 1st spread across the empire, influencing cultures from Britain to North Africa. When you toast at midnight or exchange gifts on New Year, you're following Roman traditions from over 2,000 years ago. The legacy of Janus continues every time we reflect on the past year while planning the next. Roman New Year, where politics met mythology. Now things get complicated. With the Christianization of Europe, religious authorities distrusted pagan festivals and their excesses, including New Year celebrations. In several regions during the Middle Ages, the beginning of the year was moved to coincide with major religious holidays like Christmas, the Annunciation on March 25th, or even Easter. This created massive diversity in the first day of the year according to countries and eras. Imagine the chaos. In one kingdom, the year starts on Christmas, in another on Easter, which changes dates every year, and in yet another on March 25th. International coordination was impossible. Trade, treaties, historical records, everything became confusing. In 1582, Pope Gregory XIII introduced the Gregorian calendar to correct the drift accumulated by the Julian calendar, and reaffirmed January 1st as the beginning of the year. Catholic countries adopted this reform fairly quickly, but other European regions integrated it much later. Protestant countries were suspicious of anything the Pope decreed. Britain and its colonies, including America, didn't adopt the Gregorian calendar until 1752. That's 170 years later. Russia waited until 1918. This explains why the universal date of New Year on January 1st only stabilized over the following centuries. For hundreds of years, different parts of Europe literally lived in different years simultaneously. The Gregorian reform wasn't just about New Year, it also corrected the calendar drift that had accumulated because the Julian calendar wasn't perfectly accurate. By 1582, the calendar was off by 10 days. Pope Gregory literally deleted 10 days from October 1582. People went to bed on October 4th and woke up on October 15th. This calendar chaos shows something fascinating. Our current agreement that January 1st is New Year is a relatively recent global consensus. It took centuries of religious conflict, political negotiation, and scientific calculation to get everyone on the same page. The Christian calendar wars, where faith met astronomy. Now let's explore how different ancient civilizations tied New Year to natural cycles. In ancient Egypt, New Year was linked to the cycle of the Nile and the heliacal rising of the star Sirius. The annual flooding of the river, which fertilized the lands, was seen as a rebirth of the country. New Year celebrations aligned with this capital event for agriculture and population survival. When Sirius appeared on the horizon just before dawn, Egyptians knew the Nile flood was coming. This astronomical event determined their entire year. They didn't need calendars, they watched the sky. Among the ancient Persians, New Year coincided with the spring equinox around March 21st and originated Nowruz, a festival still celebrated today in several countries of Central Asia and the Middle East. Nowruz means new day, and it marks the exact moment when day and night are equal length. Nowruz traditions include jumping over bonfires, preparing special tables with symbolic items, spring cleaning, and wearing new clothes. This 3,000-year-old celebration is recognized by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage. Iran, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and many other countries still celebrate it as their primary New Year. In China, what we commonly call Chinese New Year is a lunar New Year that appeared very early, rooted in agricultural cycles, and accompanied by rituals aimed at ensuring luck, prosperity, and protection against malevolent forces. Grand meals, fireworks, house cleaning, red decorations, and giving red envelopes with money. The Chinese New Year date varies between January 21st and February 20th, depending on the lunar cycle. This means China effectively has two new years, January 1st officially and the Lunar New Year culturally. The Spring Festival, as it's officially called, is the world's largest human migration as hundreds of millions travel home. These diverse celebrations reveal something profound. New Year wasn't invented, it was observed. Ancient peoples watched nature, the stars, the rivers, and the seasons, and marked New Year when the world itself renewed. Modern calendars divorced New Year from nature, making it abstract. Natural New Year, where astronomy met agriculture. Finally, let's explore how New Year transformed from a religious festival to a global media event. Over the course of modernity, New Year has secularized and become a celebration largely marked by public gatherings, fireworks, and media events. major metropolises organized spectacular countdowns, illuminations and concerts. Time zones, television broadcasts, and digital connections created a sort of planetary New Year marathon. We witnessed a succession of midnights from Asia to America. Sydney's fireworks, then Tokyo, then Dubai, Moscow, Paris, London, New York, and finally Los Angeles. It's a 24-hour rolling celebration. The religious character remains important in some cultures, but for many, New Year has become primarily a civic, social, and media festival, centered on wishes, reflections, and personal resolutions. In Times Square, over 1 million people gathered to watch a ball drop. The event is broadcast to over 1 billion viewers worldwide. This transformation reveals something fascinating about modern society. We've created shared global moments that transcend religion, politics, and culture. For one night, the entire world is synchronized, counting down together. New Year's Eve is perhaps the only truly universal human celebration. But this globalization also homogenizes traditions. Local customs get replaced by champagne, fireworks, and Auld Lang Syne. The same party happens in New York, London, Tokyo, and Sydney, with only minor variations. We've gained global unity but lost cultural diversity. Technology changed everything. Before radio and TV, New Year was local and personal. Now it's global and public. Social media added another layer, with people sharing midnight moments instantly across continents. We celebrate together but through screens. The modern New Year, where tradition met technology. So, there you have it. From Babylonian cosmic resets 4,000 years ago, to Roman gods with two faces, from medieval Christian calendar chaos to natural cycles determining ancient celebrations, and finally to our modern global media spectacle. New Year's history is far richer than just counting to midnight. But wait, the story gets even better. In part 2, I'm revealing the most bizarre and hilarious New Year traditions from around the world. We're talking about eating 12 grapes in 12 seconds, running with empty suitcases, jumping ocean waves in white clothes, hanging onions on doors, and throwing bread at walls. These traditions are so weird you won't believe they're real. Like, subscribe and turn on notifications. Tell me in the comments, did these origins surprise you? When does your culture celebrate New Year? Do you prefer ancient natural cycles or modern January 1st? Share your thoughts. See you very soon for the craziest New Year traditions ever. Bye.